Renewable Energy 101. If you've ever observed an erupting volcano or the geysers at Yellowstone National Park, you've seen geothermal energy in action. The Earth's crust is made of rocks and water. Deep below that is a layer of hot, molten rock called magma, which is even hotter than the sun's surface. The heat just over 6 miles below the surface contains 50,000 times more energy than all the oil and natural gas resources in the world. Releasing a small amount of that heat in the right way can create electricity. A well drilled a couple of miles deep can capture the rising hot water and steam. That steam spins a turbine, and a generator produces electricity. Geothermal is one of the least explored sources of renewable energy in the U.S., and most of us probably don't spend much time thinking about it. But since it's a pollution-free, renewable source of energy that's consistently reliable, at least it has been for the past 4.5 billion years, maybe we should.
Our resource, geothermal energy, is heat from the earth which is clean and sustainable. The geothermal range of resources are anywhere from the shallow ground to hot rock a few miles under the surface to magma even farther down closer to Earth's core. The magma from deep down may come very close to the surface where Earth's crust has been thinned by tectonic plates. When the crust is this fragile, the near surface heat is transferred to water, creating the geothermal energy. Now, geothermal energy is considered a renewable energy source because there's an unlimited amount of heat being generated from Earth's core. Also, because the water is replenished by rainfall and is also considered a natural resource, the cycle of creating geothermal energy won't stop. The largest group of geothermal power plants in the world are located at the geysers, a geothermal field in California, United States. As of 2004, 5 countries, including El Salvador, Kenya, the Philippines, Iceland, and Costa Rica, generated more than 15% of their electricity from geothermal sources. As of 2010, the United States leads with the most geothermal electricity produced in the world, followed by the Philippines, Indonesia, Mexico, and Italy. Now, some visible features of geothermal energy are volcanoes, hot springs, geysers, and fumaroles. Now, normally you cannot see geothermal energy at all because it is deep underground and you may have no clue above ground to what exists below. There are many advantages and disadvantages to using geothermal energy as a resource. Starting out the advantages, one of these main pros primarily revolve around it being a renewable resource, which means it could be used repeatedly because it is naturally occurring. Also, another advantage surrounding geothermal energy is about the power plants that produce it. The power plants do not release many greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. Of these gases, all of them can only be really harmful to the environment in plentiful amounts. Up next, the steam and water that is used to produce the energy can be put back into the ground through pumping once it has already been used. To go along with the power plants, the construction of these plants do not require the removal of large areas of land, which in turn do not affect the environment and the ecosystem around it. Now onto the few disadvantages of using geothermal energy as a resource. To start off, one con surrounding geothermal energy includes the initial purchase of building the power plants and the research that is put into where the plant can be constructed. Luckily, the geothermal plants are able to be constructed in many different environments. Now, one of the biggest disadvantages, though, for geothermal energy is that because it is not that popular as an energy source, not a very good amount of people are well educated enough to be able to be on the staff at a plant. To tie into this unpopularity, because this energy source is new, there is also a lack of equipment that is needed to construct the plants that will convert the water and steam into usable energy.
There are 3 basic types of turning geothermal energy into usable energy. Starting off with dry steam plants. Dry steam plants use steam directly from a geothermal reservoir to turn generator turbines. Dry steam is the oldest of the 3 power plant types. Next, we move on to flash steam power plants. Flash steam power plants take high pressure, hot water from deep inside the earth and convert it to steam to drive generator turbines. The term flash steam refers to the process where high-pressure hot water is vaporized into steam inside a flash tank by lowering the pressure. This steam is then used to drive around the turbines. Last and finally, we move on to the binary cycle power plant. Binary cycle power plants transfer the heat from geothermal hot water to another liquid. The heat causes the second liquid to turn to steam. By using a working fluid, also known as binary fluid, with a much lower boiling temperature than water, thermal energy in the reservoir water flashes the working fluid into steam, which then is used to generate electricity with the turbine. The water coming from the geothermal reservoirs through the production wells is never in direct contact with the working fluid. There is one basic type of geothermal energy, but it can be created in 3 different ways. Water or working fluid is heated or used directly in geothermal steam plants, then sent through a steam turbine where the thermal energy is converted to electricity with a generator through a process called electromagnetic induction. Some geothermal power plants use steam from a reservoir to power a turbine or generator, or some use hot water to boil a working fluid that vaporizes and then turns the turbine to produce electricity.
Geothermal energy has many uses. Some of the most common uses include industrial processes such as burning and heating during product production. Another use is geothermal prawn farming, which is when the farm heats its own water with the use of heat exchangers. The heat exchangers take the power station's wastewater from the farm and then heat it to generate energy. Horticulture is another use. This is when geothermal waters are used to heat small greenhouses. Another common use for geothermal energy is just heating houses and buildings. People have been using geothermal energy for many, many years. For example, the ancient Romans used geothermal energy by using the hot springs to bathe, cook, and heat their homes. In 1892, the first modern heating system was created by using pipes to move water from hot springs to people's houses. In 1904, the very first geothermal energy plant was built in Italy. Geothermal resources have been known to be in the United States for over 10,000 years. However, the first commercial geothermal power plant was built in 1960 and is located in the geysers of California. It is also still being used today.
Good evening. The renewable energy source geothermal does little damage to the environment. Some of the little damage that it does cause to the environment is when the steam and hot water rise, they contain natural occurring traces of hydrogen sulfide, H2S, and other gases which can be very harmful in plentiful amounts. Luckily, the use of a scrubber system by geothermal power plants is an effective way to remove this hydrogen sulfide from the air and create a cleaner atmosphere. One very good thing about geothermal energy power plants and the environment is that these plants do not burn fossil fuels to generate electricity. So comparing to coal plant CO2 emissions, geothermal plants produce 1/4 of the amount. Another good thing about these types of geothermal power plants is that they can be constructed in any type of environment, including in mountain forests, deserts, and in the middle of crops.
Hello again. And now you may be asking yourself, how can this energy resource be improved? Well, new techniques and ways to process geothermal energy are being introduced every day. One area that is advancing is economically. It is becoming more affordable for countries to invest in and use throughout their nations. Also, with technology itself advancing each and every day, it is slowly becoming more of a normality for a developing country to use this type of advanced technology. This concludes our informational video on geothermal energy and how it can help our environment and our society. Thank you to Nick, Cole, and Trin, and myself for helping out on this video.